Okay, last section, 4.7, graph linear equations, or linear functions. So linear functions are the same thing as linear equations. Function notation is just that saying we're naming our function, in this case, in our first one, we're naming it f, and we're finding the value at x at a certain point. You could name it any other thing like we talked about in our first chapter this year. P of x is just function notation saying our function p at the value of x, really, which just means that's equal to our y. So for the function f of x is equal to 2x minus 10, we want to find the value of x so that f of x is equal to 6. So 6 is equal to 2x minus 10. We need to then solve for x to find our x value. We add 10 to both sides. 6 plus 10 is 16 is equal to 2x. Then we divide each side by 2. X is equal to 8. So we know that our value of f, or our value of x, when f of x is equal to 6, is 8. Which, when we're talking about function notation, that's our ordered pair 8, 6. Right now though, all we needed to do, this one asked for, is to find the value of x. Okay, we look at our next one. The average price of a movie ticket in the United States from 1980 to 2000 can be modeled by the function f of x is equal to 10th x plus 2 7/75, where x is the number of years since 1980. Okay, so again, this is just y. We know that 10th is 1 over 10 x plus 275. It's basically just what we're graphing. So if we do that, we know that our point would be almost at 3, so at 275. 1/10 means we're going to go up 1 and over 10. So up to almost 4 over 10. Flat a point. Okay, and since we're talking about years, it can't be in the negative, so we're going to draw our line this way. Well, then to identify domain and range, again, since we can't have negative years, and we can't really go past 0, we know our domain is going to be x is greater than or equal to 0. Because we could be at 1980, which is 0 years. We could be at 1981, which is 1 year. 1982, 2 years, and so on. Our range then is our y values. Well, our y starts at 275, and it grows bigger. So y is greater than or equal to 275. Okay, we're going to find the value of f of x so that it is equal to 4 55/100. Okay, so that means 4 55/100 is equal to 10th x plus 2 7/75. Okay, just solve your equation. So add or subtract 2 7/75 because it was adding. Okay, 5 from 5 is 0. We can't subtract 7 from 5, so we borrow. 15 minus 7 is 8. Bring down our decimal. 3 minus 2 is 1, is equal to 10x. Divide by a 10th on each side. Again, that's just like moving our decimal over. Now we have 18 over 1, so we next know that x is equal to 18. Well, x is our number of years. So if we take 18 plus our original 1980 to find our year, we get 1998. So what our value means is the average movie ticket is $4.55 in 1998. Okay. To evaluate the function when x is equal to -2, 0, and 3, this means that we're going to find our value of x at -2. So we're plugging in -2 for x. 12 times -2 plus 1 means your function at -2 is 12 times -2, which is -24, plus 1 means our function at -2 is equal to -23. And we'll do the next one. Our function at 0 means that we're going to take 12 times 0 plus 1. Well, 12 times 0 is 0, so our function at 0 is equal to 0 plus 1. So our function at 0 is 1. Okay, go ahead and try your function at 3 for your final answer of this part. And then we'll do the next one in class together. Okay, the last part of 4.7, we're going to compare functions. So the first thing we need to know is a parent linear function. So a parent linear function is the most basic of the function. Family. So when we're talking about linear equations, our most basic is our function is equal to x, so that we know that our slope is 1 and our y-intercept is 0. So that's where we're going to compare everything to. A family of functions is a group of functions with similar characteristics. So for our linear functions, f of x is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so I would suggest that you want to colors out pencil for the ones that we're going to compare and another color for just your basic one. I'm going to choose my basic one of green, and then I'm going to graph the other ones of black. So our most basic, again, starts at 0, goes up 1 over 1, or down 1, left 1. So we have our straight line. Okay, if it changes, if we have g of x is equal to x plus b, your b is what is changing. So if you have a b that is greater than 0, we are going to say that it has a vertical shift up, and how many you're going up. If b is less than 0, it's going to be a vertical shift down, and how many that you are shifting down. Okay, so example, if I had one that was up here, it's the exact same slope, so technically they are parallel lines, which we'll talk about next chapter. And we know that we just shifted it up 1, 2, 3, 4, so I would say a vertical shift up for this one. If I went down to here, and I went and drew this line, I would say it has the same slope again, and a vertical shift down, 3. Okay, again, graphing our most basic line. Okay, and then we're going to compare it. This time we're comparing with our slopes. If m is greater than 0, and it is between actually 1, or actually it's greater than 1. And the other one would be between 0 and 1. If it's greater than 1, we have a vertical stretch. If it's between there, it's a vertical shrink. So if I said here, you're still going to start at the same intercept. You're going to go up 2 and over 1, or down 2, left 1. This would have a slope of 2. So we would say this has a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. If I have one that was in between 0 and 1, like a half, I would say a vertical shrink of 1/2. Okay, same thing if it's less than 0. The only thing that's different is we're going to say that these are reflections. So if it's between 0 and -1, these are a reflection and vertical shrink. If it is less than -1, it is a reflection and vertical stretch. If it's equal to -1, it's just a reflection. Okay, we're going to go and actually practice the other ones in class. If you've got any questions mainly over that first set of page, go ahead and type them in. If you've got any questions about the second page, you can type them in. However, we're going to go over the most part of that in class.